Every prepper needs to learn how to make these soft, flexible tortillas. They're so good.
Hey everybody, my name is Tracy and I am the Practical Prepper, and today we're going to learn how to cook something from scratch, tortillas. We all love tortillas and fresh tortillas are the best, and every prepper should know how to use their ingredients from scratch that they are storing in their long-term storage, in their pantry, whatever. So let's get to it and make some warm, tasty tortillas.
The first thing you need is 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Then you're going to mix in 1 teaspoon of salt and then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Then we're going to mix all that up really well, and then we need to figure out what oil or fat we are going to add. Today I'm going to add in this bacon grease that I stored from March 5th, which is just less than 2 weeks ago, I think. I warmed it up a little bit in the microwave so it would be easier to start mixing into this flour. I'm going to use my hands to sort of scrunch it all in together and break up the little pieces until it's all really well mixed. The next step is to add 1 cup of very hot water. I heated this up in the microwave and then I let it kind of sit on the counter. As you can see, it is still kind of, steaming. That's how hot it is. It's not too hot to touch. It's just kind of in that space where I can mix it, but it's not too hot. But it's still pretty darn hot. So now I'm going to add the rest of that first cup of water and just continue mixing with my hand here. And then I want the dough to be sort of tacky when it's done. It should be like a nice smooth dough. All this stickiness that's on my hands will get worked out as I work the dough. So don't worry about that, just keep mixing it up. And then what you want is for the dough to be a little bit tacky. If it's too dry, you might need to add a little bit more hot water, which I'm going to do today. Or if it's too wet and too sticky, if it never sort of, becomes a nice smooth ball, then you might add a tiny bit of flour if you need it. So today I'm just adding a little bit of extra water, and that's going to make it just perfect. So now I'm just going to knead my dough for about 5 or 6 minutes. So for me, that means I'm going to fold it and push it and fold it and push it. And as time goes on here, all that dough on my hands will become part of the dough ball. So just knead it until it is smooth, until you have a nice, smooth, kind of tacky, soft dough. This doesn't take that long, about 5 or 6 minutes, and you'll be done. And it'll have a great texture if you do it this way. So it's been about 5 or 6 minutes now, and as you can see, my hands are looking pretty clean. My dough ball here is looking pretty smooth. So that's what you want it to look like. You're not going to have any problems with the dough sort of coming off anymore onto your hands. It's just sort of all cleaned off your hands and looks nice, and it's ready to be sectioned off into pieces. So I'm going to twist and tear off small sort of golf ball size pieces. You can also do larger pieces if you want a larger tortilla. It just depends on what size you want your tortillas to be. And you can sort of do this like roll and tuck method to get your little smooth dough ball, or you can just roll it into a ball kind of similar to what you would do a meatball like this, and that would work out as well. It's up to you. You can play with it until you feel like it has a smooth sort of outer texture so that it doesn't have a crack in the middle. And that's all you really need to do. Just kind of see what works for you. No matter what you do, they're going to turn out great and they're going to taste great. So don't worry too much about what technique you use. Okay, I've got about 12 or 15 little dough balls here. Got my last 2 that I'm going to make right now. And then what I'm going to do is cover them up and let them sit for about 20 minutes. I'm going to use a wet paper towel, so you can just get a wet paper towel really quick and lay it over the top so that they don't dry out while you're letting them sit for that 20 minutes. Okay, I'm back. These have been sitting here for 20 minutes and they are going to be ready to roll here in a second. So take a look at them, feel them. They should feel really soft to the touch. If they feel hard in any way, you're not going to get a soft flour tortilla. So that's just something to check for and get used to. when you're making them. So you're going to use a sort of a clean surface here. You're going to dust it lightly with flour, lightly dust your rolling pin with flour, and then you're going to start rolling them out and try to get them into as much of a circle as you can. If it's not perfect, don't worry about it. They're still going to taste good. I like to think back to COVID when all the bread was gone. Had I been educated on how to make these tortillas, we could have used them for so many things. Sandwiches, little pizzas, burritos, just all kinds of things when the bread was sort of gone. So that's why this is such a great skill to have. Okay, here's my not perfectly round circle flour tortilla, and I'm just going to love it. This is going to be great. So I'm going to pick it up. It's super thin, as you can see, and I'm going to let it rest on the side of a bowl until we get all the little dough balls rolled out and we're ready to cook them. So if you have a bowl, you can just kind of hang them on the edge like that. Here's my bowl. Here's all my tortillas hanging there, just waiting for me to cook them. So hopefully you preheated your pans. I want you to see this sort of little smoky steam coming off. That means these pans are hot enough for me to start cooking tortillas. If you don't see that, they're not going to be hot enough and you're going to get a hard tortilla. So within 15 to 30 seconds, you're going to start seeing little bubbles form, and you can see them right now kind of on the one side starting to form, and that means the pan is hot enough. So this thing's going to cook within 30 seconds to a minute on this side, and then we're going to flip it over to the other side. If you don't see these bubbles, your pan is not hot enough, and you should just sort of stop and wait until it gets hot enough. As you can see, mine is only cooked on 1/2. That means I don't have it centered over the heat below, so I'm going to adjust my skillet before I put the next one on. Okay, this is the second tortilla. I'm not going to shorten the video here. I'm just going to let you watch the entire process of this tortilla cooking so you can just see how it actually goes. You can see the small bubbles already forming. You know, it only took about 10 seconds, so that tells you it's hot enough. You're going to wait about 30 seconds and then you're going to flip it over. And hopefully this is more even this time. If not, I need to adjust my pan a little bit more. We will find out. And I keep walking off camera because I do have another pan going, so I'm doing 2 of these at the same time. So if you have a larger pan or some kind of cooktop where you can do more than one at a time, that is ideal. It's still only halfway done. So I'm going to push this pan back so I can push my other pan back and get it centered over the heat. Don't let this discourage you if it happens. It's no big deal. It's still going to taste good, but if you want it to be browned across the entire tortilla, then you're just going to need to get that right, as do I. Okay. Okay, I sped the camera up a little bit so we can get on to the next tortilla. I'm just checking both sides here. When we take this off, we need to put them in a sort of towel, like a plate with towels, and cover them up. And we want to do this because this is what is going to help them stay soft. You want to trap that steam inside of them so they don't dry out, and that's part of what helps them remain soft. So here's some close-ups of a couple more I've got going on. We're kind of in the groove now. I'm doing more, and once again, I'm going to put these both in this sort of, I just have a little basket with some clean hand towels to wrap around them every time. And these are all just really soft when they're done. Look, there's a perfect little round one. We don't always get those, but there it is. And over here, we have a less perfect one, but I'm going to tell you what, this one's going to taste great too, so it doesn't matter. Unless you're trying to wrap up a burrito, it really doesn't matter. If you're going to use these to make sandwiches or tacos, or if you're just going to eat these with like butter and salt, it really doesn't matter what shape they are. So don't worry about it. Don't be discouraged. Just practice and they'll get better. So I'm going to add a few more here and show you up close just so you see the whole process. It's not difficult. We just keep them on the side in a bowl there. We flop them on the plate. They're there for about 15 to 30 seconds per side. As long as you have these little bubbles forming pretty quickly, you know your pan is still hot enough. Even if it gets a little bit charred, it's fine. It's not going to ruin your tortilla. You just may need to turn down the heat a little bit if it's getting too charred. But if you are continuing to get these bubbles, then you're just fine, and just keep cooking and it's going to taste great. And this is a great survival bread. This is a bread that many cultures have different names for all around the world. People have been eating things like this for thousands of years, and now you can make your own as well. And you could use this during times of emergency, or if you just want to have a really good tortilla. This tortilla is going to taste better than any tortilla you buy at the store because it is fresh and homemade, and it doesn't have a bunch of weird ingredients in it that you don't really want, that don't add to the flavor. It's just going to have the simple ingredients of a flour tortilla and nothing else. And what can be better than that? This stuff is so good. So I'm going to wrap these up and keep them nice and warm, and then I will show them to you. Look how soft and flexible they are. They are super bendy. They are super hot. They're actually really hard to touch right now because they're still just steaming hot.
Yeah, there you guys. Here's my tortillas. They are very soft. You can see how bendy they are. These are best for about an hour after you cook them, and then they're going to start to get a little bit harder, but they are super soft. I almost can't even touch them. They are so soft. Woo! I'm gonna burn my fingers, but you can roll them up. You can make them into a taco. You can use them for a sandwich bread. You can eat them plain with just butter. They are so yummy. I'm going to try one right now. If you'd like to get more content with how to use your ingredients from scratch, ingredients that you keep in your prepper pantry, like, subscribe, and share. I would really appreciate it. Let's have one of these right now with some butter. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Some of you might ask, why am I cooking? And what is the big deal? Well, for a prepper, I think we need to be ready for the fact that we may not have bread available. We may not have yeast available. We may not have even flour available. So you need to store the flour or the wheat berries, a way to grind them. And if you have some recipes that you can use to make quick, simple, sort of bread-like things. If you don't have yeast, this is perfect. You just need flour and water, really. And if you have some kind of oil, fat, or margarine, great. And you can make these soft sort of flatbreads or soft tortillas, whatever you want to call them. And that will stretch any meal you make. And they are delicious. Hey, if you enjoyed that video, I thought you might like to check out this video next. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next time.